Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to another Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about the Into the Dark episode, Treehouse, which is the Ides of March episode that we probably should have vlogged last month, but shit got really busy, so we're vlogging it now.
Yeah, what do you want? You want more blood splattered cinema or more vlogs?
Exactly.
These things are easy, you know?
Exactly, and so this segment's interesting because while I really liked it, I do think it's one of the weakest ones.
Yes, I agree.
What really works about it is the entire like social commentary about like what do you call it? Celebrity rape culture.
Yeah.
For lack of a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
That works really well.
Yeah. It's definitely a movie written in the wake of the Me Too movement.
Yes. The whole girl power aspect that runs through it is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Where
it looks good.
It looks really good. And the acting's really good, too. Like, you can tell the acting's really good when you have a character who is categorically a bad person, but you feel bad for him based on the strength of the performer.
Mm-hmm.
The performer is able to charm you enough, despite his awfulness, to make you feel bad when shit happens to him.
Yeah, and it kind of makes it believable that he is the kind of character that he is.
Absolutely.
You know, because what the movie is about a guy who goes to he's like a celebrity chef.
Yeah, he's like a Gordon Ramsay-esque.
Yeah, and he's currently in trouble because of a sexual assault charge.
Yep.
And these women show up, and turns out that they are witches, and they're trying to make him pay for it.
Yes.
Kind of.
But there is some twists and turns in the story that we'll get to when we get to the spoilers that will either make it or break it for you.
Yeah,
so we'll get to that.
Definitely, yeah.
But until we get to that, one of the things I really liked is that before they start revealing his sexual assault history, the character really fucking charms you.
Yes.
So that you start falling for his charm, so that when they break it to you that, oh, he's done this and this and this and this to this woman and this woman and this woman and this woman, it really starts to like sink home how easy these people can manipulate you.
Yeah. Superficially charming.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. And the actor pulls it off really well. I forget the actor's name, but he's a comedian I've seen in some movies.
Yeah, I've seen him in a bunch of shit, but
he's a character actor and comedian, and he shows up in a lot of like comedies and stuff. And he does a great job in this too, because his comedy background makes him perfect to be charming in this.
Yeah, it does. One of the other like character actors that you might recognize is Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah,
she plays one of the women.
She's in this, and she's great. Basically, what ends up happening is that he is visiting his family home, and he's supposed to visit it with his sister, but his sister has something come up, and so she disappears. And while he's at his dad's old home in the middle of like the California desert, he meets this group of like women that are just on vacation, and
they're in the next. They're in the next mansion over or whatever.
Okay, I apologize. We watched this last month, so like my memory's a little hazy, but I just remembered they were having a bachelorette
That's
party.
Right, they're having a bachelorette party. Yeah.
But they turn out to be a coven. And they turn out to be a coven specifically that punishes men that do wrong things. And so the rest of the movie is pretty straightforward, him being punished until the twisty twist.
Yeah, till the twists start happening.
I think my favorite part about this movie is, I love the witches.
Yes, the witches themselves are really, really
like
fun.
All the actors do a great job, and they're bickering back and forth, like the new young witch versus the old witch.
Yeah, the lesbian witch versus the bisexual one, and things like that. That's a lot of fun.
I apologize for the background noise, but we're filming this during the day, so there be trucks outside.
Yep.
One thing I also really liked was that the old woman who was like the old housekeeper.
Oh yeah,
I like that you're questioning the entire time. Is she in on this?
Yeah.
Is she or is she not? Does she know?
Yeah, and there's a lot of great like satanic imagery in there. There's a lot of great Wiccan imagery and a lot of great Santeria imagery.
That first night when he makes them dinner and then goes to sleep and then has all these nightmares of like deer heads and shit like that.
Yeah. Like it's kind of interesting because each witch is kind of from a different
Yep.
Different, what do you call it? Like background of witchcraft.
Yeah. You have one that like comes from like Santeria. You have one that comes from like pagan. What do you call it? Wiccan.
Yeah. It's a bit more Wiccan. There's one that is a little bit more straight up satanic.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot of fun, and the visuals that happen during the sequence but basically there's in the middle of the movie, it kind of turns into this weird, like, supernatural dream sequence. That bit is fantastic.
Yeah. It's basically the part where you enter the Polanski era.
The Polanski era. It also reminded me very heavily of Suspiria.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because
Suspiria,
it's witches, so we're going to reference Suspiria a little bit.
Absolutely. And I love that segment. My recommendation for this one is with some caveats. Number one, when we get to the spoilers, you'll understand what we mean when we say that the twist will make it or break it for you. Number two, this is really heavy-handed Me Too stuff.
Oh yeah, it's super heavy-handed.
So, if for whatever reason that shit makes your eyes roll, then you might want to skip this one.
Yeah. If you're gonna be like, oh my god, then you're gonna have issues. But if you're like, well, I might enjoy it anyway, but I might still groan, just be warned, that's probably going to happen.
On the other hand, if you're down for some girl power witch, let's punish an evil fucking rapist dude, then this is the one for you.
Oh, yeah. There'll be no problem with this movie.
All right, so with that said, let us move on to the spoilers.
Okay. Well, all right. So, do you want to start with the big one?
Yeah, let's start with the big one. Okay, so they're not witches.
Yeah. Or even if they are, they don't have supernatural power.
Yeah. Basically, the idea is that it turns out they were hired by his sister to essentially scare him straight.
Yeah.
You know, to scare him out of his rapey ways. And I don't know how well that would actually work.
Because don't know.
These people kind of like thrive on that shit, so I don't know if it would actually fundamentally work to scare him into not doing this anymore. Because oh no, the witches might haunt him.
Yeah.
But,
like it's because one of the problems with that is that if you're gonna let him live, then he has to have a true change of heart.
Yeah. But on the flip side, what I do like is that I did not see this ending coming.
No, I didn't either.
It's like I'm watching.
I was thoroughly convinced that they were witches and they had magic powers.
Because they flat out did like some magic shit. But it turns out it was like a special effect and shit.
Yeah.
But like what I do like about it is that like it has like it's a very it's kind of like the David Fincher movie The Game. Where at the end, it turns out everyone's in on the game.
Yeah.
While I like that as a surprise, there is a bit of a letdown if you were really into the witch part.
Yeah. If you're really into the witch part, you're going to be like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted them to be witches, and it feels really weird. One of my other problems with the movie is that I found myself going like, you're telling me about all the bad things that this guy has done.
But not showing.
But you're not showing me.
Yeah, that's a really the closest they come is when he comes into the quote unquote treehouse that the movie's named after. And there's all the pictures of the girl from his past.
Yeah.
The first one, so to speak.
Yeah. But like I felt like if we were gonna call it Treehouse, and the treehouse needed to be a little bit more prominent because it's there, but it's not like the treehouse all of a sudden manifests like all the girls that he's abused or something that.
The problem is because they leave so much things to be twists that are revealed as it goes on.
Yeah.
You don't have that like opening scene of him as a kid doing this.
Yeah.
Or even a flashback to it.
Yeah. And I felt like it's one of those, one of the things you absolutely need in any sort of rape revenge plot is you gotta want to see the rapist get it.
Yeah.
You gotta hate him, and that means you gotta show it.
I'm not saying that you specifically have to show the rape on screen every time.
No,
but it needs to happen in the movie and not in the past.
Yeah. You have to be, well, unless you do an irreversible, but like,
well, irreversible.
That's the exception to the
principle. Well, I mean, if you do it, here's the thing. When I say in the past, I mean off screen.
Off screen, yeah. You want that moment on screen and all its awfulness so that you can get everyone to agree, nah, kill him. Because that's what you want.
Like two things that I could have taken, I could have liked in this that could have improved it is if like they actually like get him to the point where he does it to one of the girls or tries to.
Yeah.
And that's when the table turns.
No, totally.
Like they're totally like seducing him and like trying to get it to like but playing hard to get, trying to get him to go over that edge.
Yeah.
That would have been nice. Or if they had like during like the hallucination scene where they're obviously like drugging him and shit.
Right.
If they had him have like flashback nightmares to every time he did it.
Yeah.
Like they do this really cool scene, which is one of my favorite scenes in the movie, but like it kind of shows the pros and cons of the movie within it, is the scene in which the girls reenact in front of him his supposed acts.
Yeah.
Like both his and their accounts at the court cases, because he's been taken to court multiple times for this.
Yeah.
And that scene's really strong because all the performances from the actresses are great.
Oh yeah.
But where it's weak is that you kind of want to actually see him do this.
Yeah. If you don't see it in the movie, it's questionable as to whether it really happened, and that's a problem in this movie.
On the other flip side, not seeing it kind of does add to the Me Too aspect of the movie.
Yeah.
Because how many of these cases are situations where we never get to see the act, but like it's clear the person did it?
Yeah.
So like I get that, but like yeah, I do agree that it would have been nice to actually, since we see so much of his charming side, it would be nice to actually see his a dark side.
Yeah, to actually see the abuser side like more, because that really isn't on display at all. And so you never really get that great like cognitive dissonance of like, oh, he's so nice. Whoa, he did what? You know,
yeah, like in the Woman.
Oh yeah.
You know, like where you have like their quote unquote like happy family, and then you get that slap and shit like that.
Yeah. We're just like, oh god, this guy's a monster.
Yeah, okay, the family's never actually happy, but like you have these moments where his face turns. You know?
Yeah. And he never quite has the heel turn in the movie.
Which
we just hear about it.
Would have been really nice.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have added to the movie. While it was nice to hear what he did, it would be better to see him do it.
Yeah, like another thing that they could have done if they didn't want to do that, where it would have been the same movie right up until the reveal of the twist, would have been if they decided, okay, this is what we're going to do. He's going to get accidentally killed. It's all fake. He accidentally gets killed. And then it's all about these girls basically covering it up, you know?
That would have been cool. Like if you actually made it be like, oh, this is all some sort of like fake scenario, like it is in the movie, but then like they actually take it too far.
Yeah, and then it becomes like this kind of grim comedy.
It would dilute the Me Too message, but it would be a very interesting thriller.
Yes, yeah, and that's and I think I would have preferred if it had either gone
full witch,
you know, showed how awful the guy is, or went in a completely different direction at the last act, you know, because I felt like what I got a lot of things that I liked, but it just didn't end very satisfactorily.
No.
You know,
I would agree with that. Like, I feel like everything it did do, it could do a little bit better.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the movie's still pretty watchable. The performances are still pretty good.
Yeah.
And the fucking satanic sequences are trippy as fuck.
Oh yeah. The whole middle sequence where they're torturing the guy is great.
And while there's issues I have with that ending, I did like that it was such a surprise, because these stories don't normally go that route.
No,
it was interesting.
No, they don't. But I was kind of hoping they would dead hook her in a trunk.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I can see that. So anyway, that's Treehouse. Where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Oh, you can find me here on YouTube, The Count Jackula Show. You can find me on Twitter at Count_Jackula. You can find me on Instagram, Satanic Jackula. And I stream every Thursday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we hope to see you there.
Hell yeah. I'm the Horror Guru. You know where to find me. You're at my YouTube page right now. But if you want to find me on Twitter, if you want to find me on Twitch, if you want to find me on Facebook, just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I will most likely be there. And
and don't forget
the Patreons. We got some Patreons. I'll post both me and Jack's Patreon in the description below. Check them out. Subscribe to us because every little penny helps. Even if you can only do $1.
Oh, yeah.
$1 a month goes a long way.
No, believe me. Believe you me. Yes, it does.
Absolutely. And to give you guys a little bit of an update, we recorded pretty much most of the on-screen footage for the next Blood Splattered Cinema that's coming later this month. And I did about a quarter of the voice recording the other day. I'm going to be doing more probably later today and tomorrow. Yeah, new Blood Splattered Cinema is coming, and yes, if you watch my last one, it's exactly what you think it's gonna be. With that all said, peace out, my fellow gorehounds, and we'll catch y'all later.